Tunguska explosion.
Big Bang.
Ancient Indian
Mohenjo-Daro
is also known as the mystery of the world's
Three
three
recorded
recorded
explosions.
Only the Tunguska explosion happened in modern times.
According to professional analysis,
the power of the Tunguska bang,
equivalent to 1,000 atomic bombs going off simultaneously.
Hello everyone,
Today
I am the
we
night
take
of the
a
world.
full reshoot.
The four major explosions of Tongu that he still has no solution to. 717 am on June 3, 1908. Wanawara region of Siberia, Russia. A huge fireball streaked across the sky from south to north. The closer the fireball gets,
The light
to
is
the
getting
ground.
brighter and
There was a
brighter.
moment, he even outshines the sun. Witnesses at the time. When you close your eyes, you will feel a dazzling white light flashes. And this was followed by a deafening noise and a huge shock. The shock wave made the whole earth tremble.
Suddenly,
A hot air wave spread around nearby residents. It was directly melted into the waves. More distant residents were hit hard to varying degrees. The shock wave generated by the explosion shattered all windows within 650 kilometers. Distant trains are disturbed by the impact of the explosion. The passengers in the carriage were jolted out of their
bleeding
seats.
head.
The track where the train almost flew off. Then this explosion, resulting in 2,150 square kilometers
It was razed
to the ground. About 80 million trees were destroyed. The powerful shock wave caused by the explosion shocked Europe. Parts of the Asian continent. Seismic detectors in many countries captured a strong earthquake. Even the US, you can clearly feel the taboo. It's shaking violently. The explosion also devastated parts of Europe. There was daylight for 3 consecutive days. The center of the explosion, countless witnesses saw a huge mushroom cloud rises from the ground. The red light source produced by the mushroom cloud. The sky of Tongu Temple was dyed red. No official notification was made after the explosion. Also, send any rescue teams and experts to this place. Is this because the situation around the world was very tense in those turbulent times? It's normal for this kind of thing not to be taken
But other
seriously.
countries are different.
After they learned it wasn't an earthquake, I'm very anxious because they are all afraid. This is Russia's secret weapon. Right now, some scientists applied to Russia to visit ancient
Actual
times.
survey.
The official rejected the applications of all
Scientists
countries on
who
the
cannot
spot. Start
investigate.
collecting from different regions. Earthquake warfare reserve data. Finally, after a detailed data comparison, they believe that the energy released by the 4 Tongu explosions equivalent to 15 million TNT explosives. But another 15 million tons of TNT turned up in one mass. What technology is required to achieve such a perfect explosion? And there's no way the world could make that much explosive. To run an experiment on this scale, it's not realistic. So this explosion also puzzled all researchers. Let's compare various data. Scientists concluded this couldn't have been a man-made explosion. It's not possible. Is there any country possessing this terrifying technology? And then the Great War broke out. The world situation is more chaotic. Russian Revolution. The amount of civil war is playing out one after another. People find the Russian side did not come up with weapons consistent with the ancient explosion. Then it's left behind. Until these are mineralogist of the Academy of Sciences of the Soviet Union, very obsessed with Tunguska explosion decision, traveled to the Tunguska region, launched a detailed investigation. He sent an application for investigation to the authorities. He believes that there was a massive iron meteorite fell in the Tunguska region. If the meteorite leaves debris and is recovered by us, it is bound to make the Soviet Union's industry lead the world. After the official sees the application, do you think what this kid said makes sense? I agreed. He assembled a scientific expedition to Tongu Temple for a comprehensive investigation. After the scientific team arrived, they found the locals. I would like to invite a guide to go after searching for 3 days. No one is willing to lead the way for them. After living there for several months, locals believe the explosion was a punishment from the gods. The intention and doomsday prophecy generated by the explosion. Local residents are afraid of provoking anger so no one dared to go to the area. And some local residents, there's no cure. Livestock raised by some nearby herders, also for unknown reasons, committed deformed pups. So the local people, particularly afraid of going to the blast area, there was no way. So the expedition team decided to go on its own. What comes into view is a cone appeared at the center of the suspected explosion. Marsh Lake. Trees near the lake. It did not collapse due to the impact of the explosion. Contrary, on the ground outside the explosion, trees fall radially. His little master can't explain this strange phenomenon. After a simple survey, they think the lake is a leftover crater. To find meteorite fragments, they drained the swamp of water, but no meteorite fragments were found. Since there are no fragments, the team considered, did a comet disintegrate near the ground? Comets are made of particles of ice and dust. This marshy lake is the remnant of a comet. Then this investigation found basically nothing. And then biologists came along. They are interested in nearby insects under harvesting pressure. Through testing and analysis, experts discovered that insects have genetic mutations. It must have been caused by some kind of radiation. That's because no meteorite fragments were found. No substantive evidence was found. The scientific expedition team can only return happily. There are also scientific expedition teams investigating the mystery of the explosion in the Tunguska region. And theories followed. Experts in various fields. Speculation about the Tunguska explosion. There are more than 40 kinds. So let's take stock. More mainstream guesses. In 1945, the United States dropped in Hiroshima, thousands of Japanese died in the fire. This is the first time in human history that nuclear weapons have been used. From nuclear explosion. The whole world was deeply shocked. And then all the data came in. First nuclear explosion. The nearby residents were all contaminated with nuclear radiation. Bleeding ulcer, hair loss cancer, myoplastic hereditary lesions, and a series of diseases. The area covered by the explosion reached 740 square kilometers. None of the buildings in the blast area were spared. All were affected. This atomic bomb causing 200,000 casualties. The destruction caused by this explosion extremely similar to the doubts.Were Big Bang. There is also a cone-shaped crater in the area nearby. A tree did not fall due to the impact of the explosion. On the contrary, the buildings and trees around the explosion radial lodging. Nearby residents also experienced radiation reactions. Someone exploded Tunguska. The scene photos from the scene of the atomic bomb contrasted. It turned out that trees in the two blast areas fallen in the shape of a butterfly. So many people think the Tunguska explosion was a nuclear explosion experiment. But because of the technology and equipment at that time, it is impossible for humans to master this technology. Who would it be if it wasn't human? So the alien theory was born out of nowhere. At a time of painful retribution, many scientists have begun to investigate extraterrestrial life. A strong interest. There are many rumors about UFOs and aliens. It spreads between people in different countries. After World War II, alien-related topics. There was a heated discussion among the people. Many of the alien events we know about today. It was also exposed during this period. So until now, there are still many people who believe that explosion. It should be a nuclear-powered UFO. As the UFO crosses the atmosphere and prepares to descend on Earth, something went wrong. Finally, there was an explosion over Tunguska. Does this alien theory look fantastical? But a few scholars are also very supportive of this theory. Until today, they are still there. Search for the remains of alien flying saucers in the Tonggu Temple area. The theory is based on the alien theory, a new theory that has spawned. First of all, the proponents of this theory think that Tonggu exploded. It has connections with both aliens and the military. So here are two possibilities. First, an alien spacecraft has indeed crashed in the area. The ship was about to crash. Triggers some kind of escape mechanism. The aliens can survive. An explosion of this magnitude. It is impossible for the official to ignore. So the military will arrive at the scene as soon as possible, so that the surviving aliens can be captured. Aliens, in order to survive, will use advanced technology to reach a consensus. These agreements have made Russia a great power in the world. Second, the Tunguska bang was caused by the United States has long had after they built the atomic bomb, chose Tunguska as the experimental site. The success of the experiment, the United States achieved a tremendous victory in World War II. The United States was also the first country to acquire nuclear weapons. These are the speculations of fans of the conspiracy realm. This statement, it was proposed by astrophysicist Quint in 2012. First of all, there's a lot of marshland in the blast zone in Tonggu. Whole piece explosion. The natural conditions of the area are very consistent with the volcanic activity. More than 100 years ago, extremely rare geological phenomena. We're taking the Earth, and we're taking it in cutaways. Can be understood. In the solid layer outside the Earth, it's all hot lava and gas. What does Quint think? Superheated magma and gas continuously propelled upward through underground volcanoes. But after crossing the Earth will be blocked by thick rock formations. Gas and magma are constantly after hundreds of thousands of years of accumulation. Its internal pressure also becomes more and more. In 1908, some of the gas passes through the rock formations. There was an explosion in the air. The explosion created static electricity ignites the mixture of methane and oxygen. Eventually, a mushroom cloud forms. Of course, as the gas moves through the rock formation, the internal pressure decreases. So magma were not carried out of the rough rock layer and washed to the surface. What about this theory? As soon as it appeared, it was recognized by many experts. Gas explosion theory. Look, it's actually better than the other hypotheses. The Times said, it was proposed by physicist Valentina Baykova. His expedition is investigating Tonggu. When Times explode near 17 kilometers from the center of the explosion, there is an area called Mount Kamiyama. There are a lot of strange things happening in this region. Once the electronic quartz watch enters the area, will stop working immediately. The mechanical watch can operate normally. The sacred mountain is like an enchantment on the periphery. The world within the enchantment, it seems to be our world is not on the same Earth. And the people who live there, most people suffer from mental illness. They are highly stressed. Very irritable. Stones in the earth. It's like being clipped through porcelain by something. These stones are highly magnetic bullets. In this way, as long as you enter the range of the mountain, north will become south, east will become west. GPS and other high-tech devices will also be appropriate. Trees in the sacred mountain area grow surprisingly fast. The reason for all this, all related to the 4 explosions of because the scientific expedition team found it's wider than it was before the explosion. This suggests that the trees mutated after the explosion. The entire mountain range was also affected by the geomagnetic disturbance. So the Valentina expedition team thinks over 100 years ago, area, a rare natural magnetic explosion has occurred. The most plausible place for this radiation contamination. The Tunguska explosion caused radiation contamination, but its pollution area and pollution scale, it's nothing like the atomic bomb. After the atomic bomb there will be extensive nuclear radiation contamination. Tunguska is not. Tunguska is a regional pollution. Places within the blast range were contaminated with radiation. In some places there is no radiation pollution. This is also very strange. So the magnetic storm theory, it seems more reasonable in the scope of pollution. Let me state this statement first. Definitely not funny. This statement is called. Archaeologists at Yuri Rabin proposed it in 2010. He thinks there was an iron meteorite weighing millions of tons, breaking through the atmosphere, went near the ground after a collision with a spaceship, created a big bang. He's still near the blast site, found a strange place. This place, that's about 25 square meters. It's barren. That's 25 square meters. No plant can survive here. Wild animals also bypass the area when they walk, so it makes sense to think there was a spaceship taking off from here. The flames he spewed changed the structure of the soil and the purpose of his takeoff. It was this million-ton iron meteorite. He rushed towards the meteorite, caused an explosion by impact. The shock wave of the explosion shattered the meteorite. So the aliens wrote down that they saved humanity. Now, is that a myth? But the expert still produced a false positive. What does he think? This rock is a fragment of a spaceship. Or this rock is a fragment of an iron meteorite. He claims this is a piece near Tonggu Temple, the discovery of ferrosilicon. This shape looks rougher. I personally think, isn't it too much like a product of advanced civilization? When this theory was put forward, no one believed it. But it resonated with a lot of people 3 years later. This is because 3 years later, in 2013, Russia, there was an incident. Unbelievable meteorite breakup event. This incident, we are the ones who saved the Earth. It is explained in detail in the video. It won't start here. And because after the Russian meteorite disintegration event in 2013, let this theory catch fire again. Even today, there are many people who have always believed the succession of aliens. They have always believed aliens live on Earth. They have a way. Keep us from finding them. Even if they pass us by, we can't detect their existence either. They will be at the moment of human life and death. Step in to save humanity. Why do they save humans? That's a lot of guesswork. If anyone is interested, I will too. I made a special video to explain it to you in detail. That's the end of the story for Big Bang so far. No guess has been made yet. Most people agree. Game time. Still a classic unsolved mystery. I'm Doctor. My channel explores the universe and unsolved mysteries. Remember to subscribe. See you next time.